Hey there, folks. I'm thrilled to have you join me for another exciting episode of Plasticity for Noobs and Beyond. Today, we're going to delve into the world of shapes and explore this particularly tricky one. This shape has a wonderfully rounded top that adds a touch of sweetness to its overall appearance. However, things get a bit tricky when we encounter an indentation, which is formed by two hard edges right here. But wait, there's more. We also have a challenging hard edge that starts from this point of tangency and extends all the way down here. This means we're dealing with two different cross sections, one up here and another down here, and they have slightly different shapes. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive right into the nitty-gritty details of this shape. As I always say, let's keep it simple. And by simple, I mean just 3 points to define this curve. Use the Spline curve tool, guys. Right-click to confirm. Don't forget to adjust the points by click and drag them. To facilitate the creation of the other spline, we can start by drawing two simple lines as guides. Once we have completed the spline, we can then delete these lines. Let's lay down the spline, snap it on the lines. Make sure the spline is aligned with the image. Okay, let's delete these lines. Alright, let's keep the momentum going. Now, I'll shift the curve at the top 2 units to the left, and then mirror it along the y-axis. To activate the mirror tool, you can either press Alt+X or simply click on the corresponding button in the toolbar. Once that's done, go ahead and click on the green axis. Alright, so if you're thinking about selecting the 3 curves and pressing the L key to loft them, I would advise against it. We don't want to end up with this pointy shape. Instead of that, what we really need is tangency on both sides. To achieve that, all we have to do is select the 2 curves at the top, then press the I key and extrude them along the Z-axis. To begin, select both curves and press the I key. Next, press the F key to extrude them along any axis that suits your requirements. In this case, I will click on the Z-axis and extrude them slightly. This action ensures that tangency is achieved at the connection points of these 2 curves. You can now remove the curves. Instead, we will utilize the surfaces that have just been created to perform a proper lofting technique with G1 continuity. Okay, here's what you need to do. First, select this edge, then, with the Shift key pressed, select the curve, and finally pick the edge on the opposite side. Once you've done that, simply press the L key. This is something else, guys, right? Now, we need to split the spline at the points of tangency. These 2 points here. Grab the Split Curve tool and click on both points. Make the cut exactly where the sketch intersects the curve. Next, press Alt+J key to unjoin the curves. You can now delete the curve in the middle. Alright, now let's move on to the next step, which involves establishing tangency between these 2 points and the other 2 points on the opposite side. There are 2 methods we can use for this. The first one is to utilize the tangent circle tool. Alternatively, we can select the 2 points and press the L key, then set the start curve and end curve to G1. So to start off, let's create a spline here and one on the opposite side. I could even use the bridge curve tool, guys, but let's simply select the points and hit L on the keyboard. This action makes sure that tangency is achieved at the connection points. You can now select the curves and press the J key to join them. To create an arc that snaps on the points of tangency, we will use the 2 points arc tool. Before we proceed, let's right-click on the material icon and select Show Faces. This will allow us to visualize the wireframe, giving us a transparent view. Let's create this arc. To create a 3-point arc, simply hold down the left mouse button here. From the list of options, choose 3 points arc. This tool requires you to select 3 points. Start with the first point, like this. Then, choose the second point to define the diameter. Finally, select the third point. OK, click on Show Faces again. To utilize the newly created arc, just press the C key. This will bring up the requester, which is searching for a target model to cut. All you have to do is select your model, right-click to confirm, and delete the cut section. Alright, now I'm going to create a plane where I can sketch my cross-section using the technique we've learned in the previous tutorials. We just need to create a line intersecting the 2 splines. Next, press Shift plus D to duplicate it, move it a bit to the right, and mirror it. Finally, select both lines and press L key to loft between them. Let's create a simple oval using the 2-point circle. Sorry, a simple circle, but the shape we will end up with is more like a capsule. Then, with the line tool, create two tangent lines. Hover over the curve till the tangency snap appears on the screen, then right-click to confirm. If you want to split the circles at the points of tangency, one option is to utilize the Split Curve tool. After selecting this tool, you can left-click on the points of tangency and press the Alt+J key to unjoin the circles. Another option is to use the Trim tool, which allows you to remove unwanted parts of the circles. To do this, click on the Trim tool, then simply hover over the circles and left-click on the areas you wish to delete. Now select the curves and press J to join them. If you try to select the upper edge and the newly created section and then press the L key, you'll be disappointed. The Loft tool can't handle the complexity of the edge. But don't worry, there's a solution. We just need to give Plasticity some extra information and let it know which direction we want the surface to go in. To achieve that, press Ctrl+R key. This will activate the Isoparam tool. Press the Tab key to switch between horizontal or vertical. Snap the new edge right in the middle by hovering over the edge at the top, and left mouse click. We can delete the plane and curves too. Grab the Line tool and create a line similar to this one. Start from the middle of the section and extend it all the way down in the binormal direction. The binormal vector is a special vector that is perpendicular to both the tangent vector and the normal vector. To snap exactly at this point, hold down the Shift key and hover over the adjacent line. Then, go down to this point and left-click on it. Finally, right-click to confirm. Do the same on the opposite side. Make sure the points are greenish, guys. This tells you that the connection is perfect. Let's now select both edges and press Shift+D to generate curves out of edges. Now let's move on to the next step where we will connect this point to the one above it, following the rule of tangency, alright? Now grab the Spline tool and create a simple curve at the bottom. It's a temporary solution. Make sure to close the curve accurately. Creating another one in the middle might be necessary. To tackle the challenging middle section, we'll begin by using the Control Point Curve tool. Lay down a curve, ensuring that the second point is tangent to the first one. Start by placing the first point right here. Then, snap onto the purple tangent line and position the second point. This is how you achieve tangency in this particular point. To continue, just keep placing control points. Aim for maximum precision here. Now with the curve selected, press the C key. Next, select the model to cut it. Delete the part that you don't need, this one. You can now delete the section at the bottom. And the two guides as well. There may be some issues that arise from these fragmented edges. However, I have a solution. I will simply cut it with a clean, straight line. By taking this action, we can achieve a nice, seamless, single edge. There we have it. Now press Shift plus D to generate a curve. Next, grab the 2-point circle and create one, like this. Snap your mouse cursor along the purple normal direction. To divide the circle in the middle, simply use the line tool. Once that's done, you can easily get rid of half of the circle by using the trim tool. To achieve a seamless transition between the points, it is important to have G1 at this connection and G0 at the other. This is necessary in order to maintain the desired hard edge at this connection. That's the shape you should get. Select them and press the J key. Alright, let's go ahead and select the edges and then press Shift plus D to create the curves. I will not loft using the edges, as I'm not interested in achieving tangency in this case. Remember, we need to have G0 here. Don't worry, we can always bevel these edges later on. Now select the curves in a clockwise or counterclockwise circle and press L. Finally, hold down the Shift key and pick the shape at the bottom, and there we have it. Lovely. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping by grouping all the curves in a folder by pressing Ctrl plus G. I feel like the need to trim the bottom, don't you? Well, grab the line tool and let's do that. Now, let's move on to the next challenge, dealing with the indentation. To accomplish this, I will be using 2 splines and imprinting them onto the surface using the imprint command. Move the splines away from the center in the perspective view. Then imprint them onto the model, one by one. To find the imprint command, press the F key and type imprint in the input text field. To recap, select the spline, invoke the imprint command, and then select the model, and right-click to confirm. Okay, get rid of the splines. Moving on, deleting this face. Next, let's create a tiny curve like this. Move it to the left and place it as close as possible to our surface. We will have to rotate it a bit and do a bit of guessing work just like that. You can rotate it, however, don't move it. To proceed, we need to connect these 4 points. This will allow us to achieve G1 tangency at these 2 points, while maintaining G0 at the other 2. Let's select both edges and press Shift+D. This will provide us with curves. First, select all 3 curves and isolate them. Then, simply loft between the control points. Make sure to set G1 continuity on the left and G0 on the right. Now loft between the edge and the tiny curve. This will give us G1. Hold down the Shift key and pick up the guides. And there you have it. Now I can decide whether to use G1 or G0. It doesn't really matter, guys, because I'm going to bevel these edges. So we can just keep it at G0. Delete the curves and loft between the edges. As you can observe, plasticity is giving G1. However, at this point, I'm not really a fan of how the edges blend in. To ensure a smooth transition between points, I will now demonstrate how you can effectively make those points flow seamlessly. Let's set it to G0. By following this approach, we will arrive at a series of interconnected points. Consequently, we won't be able to fillet the edges properly. Select the newly created sheets and press the J key to join them all. I've been recently asked, how do you fillet those edges? Well, I set it to G0 just to answer that question. There are a few ways to do that. You can achieve it using the pipe tool. Select the edge, as shown in the video. Then press the P key, type 1.3 centimeters in the input text. Before confirming the operation, press the B key. This will give you a standalone pipe. Next, select this face and move it a bit, to prevent any confusion or congestion at the intersection. You have to do the same with the other side of the pipe, but let's go ahead without doing it, just to show you what's going to happen. Okay, let's get the other pipe. Give it the same diameter, and press the B key. Moving on, subtracting the pipes using the Boolean tool. First select the model, next press the Q key, and then select the pipes by holding down the Shift key. And there we have it. Okay, now you can see the issue right here. I should have moved this face of the pipe as well. Okay guys, let's undo that. This time I will move the face to the right side. This will make sure that the pipe cuts the sheets correctly. Well guys, I guess I should just delete that face too. To ensure the loft tool works properly, select and delete the broken edge, leaving us with a single edge. You can now loft between the edges. You also want to hold down the Shift key and pick this tiny edge to ensure G1 tangency. I could have easily completed this task within seconds, my friends. However, I want to take this opportunity to demonstrate why the loft tool often generates errors. Let's do the same work up here. The transition is now much better. Select the sheets and press the J key to join them. To complete the next step, you need to patch the bottom of the shape. This can be easily done using the patch tool, which is conveniently located right here. Alright, it's time to mirror the shape. Press Alt plus X key and click on the green handle, then click on Merge Halves Together. This action will merge both shape into a single shape. Let's loft these edges and set them to G0. We're almost done, everyone. Let's patch the front part and the back as well. If the patch tool doesn't work, you can attempt to cut a slice of the shape and try again. Create a line and cut through it by pressing the C key. And voila, there it is. To complete the process, we will utilize the Hollow Solid tool. Start by selecting the desired faces and then click on Hollow Solid. After that, simply click and drag the yellow handle until you are satisfied with the result. Okay, let's keep it at that. One more thing we can do is bevel these two edges. I'll be using the same technique as before. Select the edges, press the P key, and type 1.3 centimeters in the input field. Confirming the operation is as easy as a right click. The Boolean tool will be automatically recalled for you. Now here's something important to keep in mind. When using the pipe tool for this task, you'll need to have sheets. However, if you're working with solids, like in this particular case, you'll have to delete all the faces that are created by the Boolean operation. Makes sense, right? Now select these edges and loft them, and make sure you press Shift and left click on that tiny edges to ensure G1 continuity across the newly created surface. There we have it. Let's mirror it again. Don't forget to click on Merge Halves Together. All right, folks, we've reached the final step. Now, let's grab the circle tool and create 3 circles. It's as simple as that. You might be wondering, why 3 circles? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason is to introduce you to a handy little tool called Dimension Tool. I'll be creating 3 circles, each with a different diameter. But how do we make them all have the same diameter? Well, that's where the Dimension Tool comes in. Just select the circles, then press the F key to open up the command palette. Type Dimension and click on it. Then, click in the viewport. As you can see, the circles are now the same size. This little trick can really come in handy, guys. Now, with the circle selected, imprint them on the surface. You can now delete them. Next, select the 3 faces and pull them in. Give them a little fillet, just like that. Let's fillet these edges too. All right, there we have it. The last mirror, guys. Okay, let's have a look at the reference. Look at that. I'm quite happy with that, guys. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and were able to grasp something new. That's a wrap for today, guys. I'll catch you in the next tutorial.